Coach, was it a good time for exam weeks? Did you need the time off, or do you hate to take it considering you've won 8 in a row?
Well, there's some pros and cons to exam week from a baseball perspective. I mean, obviously from an academic perspective, that's obviously the priority for these guys, and they've been working so hard on the baseball side of things. It's good for them to get a break from baseball and be able to focus on their academics, and hopefully everybody finished up strong and put themselves in good academic position. So it's also good for us because we needed some time with a number of guys to try to recover, from some of the nagging injuries that we have. So it's good to try to get our guys some recovery time, and also our pitchers. If you look over the last 2 weekends, we've really used our bullpen a lot. So, a few days off to be able to give those guys time to put the ball down and just let their arms recover a little bit is a good thing. Now, we've only got 2 days, basically 2 practice days to get ready for, one of the best programs in the country in Florida State. So that's probably the part that, is the toughest for me as the coach, is we've got to get a lot done in the next 2 days in preparation for a great ball club.
How much do you pay attention to projections and RPI and that kind of stuff, and how much can this series help you as far as trying to host or maybe get a national series?
I think the worst thing you can do is look at all that stuff, quite frankly. I think we all know that, Florida State's an outstanding ball club. And we got to play good baseball to beat Florida State, and we've got to play our best baseball if we're going to win this series this weekend. So we don't worry too much about that stuff. I think when you start focusing on the RPI, you start focusing on those types of things, hosting implications, national seed implications. You're focusing on the wrong things. I think everybody is aware of it. You wouldn't be human. If you got social media, you're aware of it. But our focus is not going to be any different than what it's been the last. Really all season, especially the last couple of weeks, because we've had a couple of really good weeks. So right now my biggest job is to try to stay out of the way and just be consistent with what we've been doing week in and week out here lately. And, hopefully that'll be enough for us to play, again, our best baseball this weekend.
Here in Cromie, you expect those guys to be 100%? Anybody else that you don't expect to go?
Cromwell, we expect to be 100% and ready to go. We're actually going to enter squad today. We're going to throw some guys that need some work on the mound and get some at-bats. And, Kier's still a question mark. We're not quite sure if he's going to be ready or not. Today and tomorrow will be a good indicator of whether he'll be ready this weekend. I would say he is questionable for the weekend right now.
Coach, don't imagine you'd like to have 6 days off riding an 8-game winning streak, but how advantageous is that for your pitchers going into a big series like this?
Well, it's good because we've taxed our bullpen. If you look at our starts over the last couple of weeks, we typically get about 5 innings out of our starters on average. If we get into the 6th, that's pretty good, and then we have to turn to the bullpen. But we turn to the bullpen because that's our strength, being able to use guys like Strider and Ryan Miller, Carson Spires, and Riley Gilliam. When you can use those 4 guys out of the pen and stretch those guys, it's not like they're 1-inning guys either. Even Riley here lately, we've used more than for 3 outs. So, we can use all of those guys, but we've used those guys. So it's been good to be able to give them a little bit of a break and let them recover a little bit before we go into this weekend. On the other side, timing is good right now for the hitters. They're feeling really good about their swings. Pitchers are feeling really good about their results. So you want to keep going, but I think, if you look at last week, heck, we played 5 games. I mean, 5 games in 1 week is tough on any ball club. So we needed some time off, and I feel like for these 2 days we're going to get really high-quality practices because of that, and we should be fresh and ready to go physically and mentally, now that school is over for most of our guys. We still got a few guys that have an exam here or there. But, our guys will just be able to focus on taking care of their bodies and focusing on baseball, after tomorrow.
Sam Hall looks like a guy that just needed to find a little confidence, and now that he's got it, he's swinging it.
Well, he's playing really good baseball for us. Obviously, you hate to see anybody get hurt, and Cromwell had an injury. Bird's been banged up, so been limited. So, we felt like Sam Hall was kind of the next man up. He's a freshman that we all knew was very, very talented, extremely athletic and versatile. So we put him in the game, and look what he did. I mean, he played exceptionally well, and he certainly deserves the opportunity to continue to start for us based on how he's played. So we're very, very excited for him. I know his teammates were very excited for him because they see how hard he's worked to put himself in a position to get on the field, and when his name was called, he played very well for us. So really happy for Sam.
not only as far as NCAA tournament, but with the ACC standings and that kind of stuff? Is this a big weekend for you guys to kind of take another step forward there too?
Again, it's another weekend. I mean, I don't think we need to start talking about big weekends and all that stuff with our team. We don't do that. And again, if you start talking about all of those things and putting more of an emphasis on one weekend over another, I think that puts undue pressure on your ball club. I think one of the reasons we've been playing pretty good baseball is because we've been pretty loose and playing pressure-free baseball. And our guys have been very poised and calm and relaxed in the dugout with good energy. And, we want to just stay as consistent with that as we possibly can right now and not put any more of an emphasis on this weekend. This weekend's not going to make or break us one way or the other. Last time I checked, we still got games after this weekend. We still got the ACC tournament and then the postseason. So, again, it's just about being consistent with how we've prepared the last couple of weeks. It's worked. We're going to try to stay with the same routine and hopefully put our guys in a position to be successful this weekend.
What do you think of the job Mike Martin's done at Florida State?
Well, he's had 38 consecutive seasons where he's won 40-plus games. So he's the best college baseball coach, in my opinion. We were just talking about it in there. And there's a lot of guys that are on that, Mount Rushmore, so to speak, of college baseball coaches. You got Augie Garrido, God bless his soul. You got Skip Bertman. You got Rod Dedeaux. Mike Martin is definitely got to be on that. I mean, Mike Martin, 38 consecutive 40-win seasons, and we know he's going to get there again this year. I mean, just history is going to tell you that he's going to do it. The least amount of wins he's had in a season as a head coach is 41 in 2016. So he's the best of the best. He's going to go down, in my opinion, as the best college baseball coach in the history of the game because of his consistency. So I have a lot of respect for him, and I have a great relationship with him, talk to him on a fairly regular basis. He's a very simple man, but he's a brilliant man, and he's done an unbelievable job. He's someone that anyone in my position should emulate and look up to.
You're obviously really familiar with Florida State. What have you been able to glean from them in your scouting this week?
You got those strikes. I mean, you got to get ahead of those guys. I mean, that's the big thing. If you don't, they're going to get you. They walk a lot. They're very, very patient in their approaches at the plate. They try to drive the pitch count up. So they do a really good job of that. So, they do everything they can to get runners on base. So the key for us is getting to strike one. We've got to get to strike one against their lineup because they'll take advantage of the free pass. I know we take advantage of the free pass as well. They got 50 more walks than we do. So if that tells you anything, how much they take advantage of the free pass, we've got to throw strikes and force them to swing the bat. And they've got a very talented lineup. They've got some good hitters, so we got to play good defense behind our pitching staff. And we got to continue to swing the bats the way we've been swinging the bats. I mean, that's a big key for us. We've been able, the big difference in the last 2 weekends, outside of our pitching and defense, is we've been able to score runs without taking advantage of the free pass. We have to be able to continue to do that against Florida State. Florida State leads the conference in strikeouts, I believe. So they've got some power arms. There's going to be some swinging and missing because they've got good stuff. But we've got to be able to hit our way on base and swing the bats offensively and score runs. And we got to get to strike one, get ahead of their guys, and limit the free pass on their offense and play good defense behind our pitching staff.
When you look at the big picture, what do you like the most or the most proud of with this team specific?
Oh, geez. I really like our consistency, with just the personality of our team. It's been a very low-key, laid-back, just kind of, even kill group all year long. Sometimes I wonder if we have enough energy and enough passion and enough fire, but I think that's, for the most part, kind of the personality of our ball club for the most part. We don't have a lot of loud, extroverted type players. But our guys have been very consistent. I mean, we've been through a lot of really good streaks. We got off to a great start, a fast start at the beginning of the year, and then we went through a tough stretch too. And I feel like just the consistency of the approach that our guys come out with every day is what has been able to get us through those tough times. Nobody seemed to panic. Nobody got overly frustrated or down in the dumps. They just show up every day and kind of go about their business, and they love being out here and they love being together. So I think that's been the biggest thing. It's just a consistent, even-keel, laid-back, relaxed approach has seemed to work for our club. And, even when we're when we're up on Sunday against Virginia 9-4 and they come storming back, our guys are just still relaxed and loose in the dugout, and I think that's the sign of a good ball club. You know, teams that get really nervous and frustrated when those situations happen, they tend to fail an awful lot. So, you know, hopefully our guys can continue with that approach.
How have you seen Kyle Wilkie's confidence grow from where he was maybe early on in the year to where he is now?
Kyle's always been pretty confident. You know, I think